Hi everyone, and welcome to this new chapter of Furt'Her. Today we have Floriane Le Floch with us on this podcast, and I'm very happy to have Floriane because you know that we met already a few years ago when I first launched the community, and you were the first speaker that I invited to present to the community. So I'm very excited to meet again a few years later and to see that we are both still in the space and evolving. It's very interesting also. We will be learning about all your venture into Web3. But first of all, what would be very nice is to get to know you as Floriane. So I've seen through your LinkedIn that you have attended different schools and also Boston University, if I am not mistaken. So I would like to learn a little bit about your studies and how did it shape the way you started your career?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I was also super happy when I saw you again in Brussels to see how Furt'Her grew and yeah, expanded so much. So it was great. Yeah, so about my studies, yeah, I had the chance to study at the engineering school in Paris. That's where I realized I'd actually love to code, that which wasn't a given at first. And then I had the opportunity to travel a lot to study in like Malaysia, to have also an internship in South Korea. So that was amazing opportunities, and eventually do a double degree in Boston University. So it was super interesting to see the culture in the US, which is completely different from France. So also the way you interact with the teachers, it is way more open. The way they grade you, it's feels like a little bit more supportive. Like in France, they tend to give you like bad grades and you have to work harder. In the US, if you do a good job, they're going to give you like maximum points. And the culture is very open, and like you want to debate with the teacher. They encourage you to speak in class and everything. So it was super interesting.
And what did you study in Boston for your double degree?
So it was the same subject. I chose concentrations in more AI and big data, but it
Okay.
was still like computer science.
You made me laugh when you said that you discovered that you loved to code when you started engineering, that you didn't expect it. But what for all those women out there that are like maybe like triggered by the engineering, coding and everything, like what did you like about coding?
Um, I think I like to create.
Okay.
Like, I mean, first, so I went to my engineering school. I loved like math and physics. I was like, okay, there's coding, but it's like only 1/4 of the time I can handle it. But then first it seems hard, like they give you a lot of new concepts and stuff. But actually, when you sit down by yourself and like do the exercises one by one, I don't know, at one point it just becomes fun. And then you do a project, you actually create, you can see whatever you programmed in front of you working, doing all the things that you programmed it for. And yeah, for me
But
it's exciting.
do you think that it's an a priori that we have, that it's complicated at first, but once you learn about it, it's like any other materials?
Yeah, exactly. And I think coding, especially nowadays, became more and more accessible. Like you have so many great online classes. So I mean, the key as everything else is just practice by yourself. If you actually do
Yeah.
it step by step, I mean, for me, it become fun.
Yeah, indeed, I get what you mean. Then you become more familiar and then you can become even creative in what you do. And we will
Yeah.
come to that because you create your own venture as well. So when we met, you were working with Thousand Faces. So maybe still has some implication with them. But how come? So that was your first step in Web3 or there was some before?
That was my first, yeah, professional step, let's say. I just like learned by myself how to program, like all the technology, like behind blockchain. But that was, yeah, my first professional, yeah.
And so you built with them the technical part, the NFTs and everything?
Yes, so we were multiple people, but yeah. So first it was more about trying to understand what the vision is going to look like. So the project started as an NFT project, but then evolved. So the idea is to offer support for female founders with impact projects. So then it evolved a lot. Now we have an accelerator program, now also a program to teach how to invest. So it evolved a lot, and also a crowdfunding platform. So I was involved in different areas, helped for the NFTs and the crowdfunding platform as well.
Great. Yeah, it's amazing. And is it because you were in the space that you got inspired to develop other projects?
Yeah, definitely. So I met Mujane, who is the founder of Thousand Faces, in a Women in Tech group, like in a very random way. So she posted her idea about helping female founders with impact projects, and she had like an NFT project in mind. And like, okay, that's a lot of words I like. Let's talk to her. And we started to talk and started to work together.
That's very nice. And it shows as well the power of networking and being curious about the field you would like to dive in. So you had both, and you made that important connection that allowed you to step in the space and to learn about the space. And now you have your own project. You have Evermore. Can you tell us a little bit more about your project and how did it come live?
Yeah, so Evermore, we're building infrastructure for circular commerce. So it's about, we're working with fashion brands to tokenize their product and facilitate resale. So the idea is really to unlock new recurring business model for brands from existing products. So the idea was, right now, the fashion industry creates a lot of pollution, creates a lot of waste, but you have all those smaller fashion brands. The goal is not to participate into this pollution. You know, fashion is about expressing yourself. It's about a lot of beautiful things. But so how, as a small brand, you can reconcile like having a sustainable brand in terms of ecology, but having also a brand that works, because you still, at the end of the day, you still need to make money.
Indeed.
So the idea is like Web3 is good to create incentives. And we were thinking how we can use Web3 to find a new way of a new business model that allow brands to be rewarded for being more sustainable.
Okay. And so it means if we talk about a real case scenario, you go to the shop, you buy your piece of clothes, right? And your ticket could be an NFT or something like that.
Yeah, almost. So the idea is we work directly with the brands and we create tags for them. So the tags are either a QR code or NFC. So the brand attach the tag directly to the clothes. So now you, as a customer, when you buy the clothes, you can just scan the tag and claim the NFT.
Okay.
And then once you don't need the clothes anymore, you scan the tag again and you can resell in 2 clicks.
And you resell it as the individual. You don't bring it back to the shop, right?
No, then the resale is peer-to-peer. So you can directly sell on Evermore. We have all the history, all the information about the products that allows you to resell like very easily.
And does the brand take a percentage of the resale, everything?
Exactly. The brand takes a percentage. So the idea is we tell them, like, if you have durable product, if your product can be resold multiple times on Evermore or somewhere else, then you can have new recurring revenue from your existing product.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, it's very interesting project. And are you already like talking with different brands like to onboard them?
Yeah, so we've been live since last February. We launched during New York Fashion Week. So we are partner with one of the events there. And since then we onboarded like around 20 brands, and we have more and more brands coming to talk to us. So it's a very exciting time.
And I remember you told me you have a co-founder, so you are 2 for the moment handling this.
Yes, we are 2 co-founders. Yes, correct.
And do you have 2 technical backgrounds?
No, so my co-founder has a business and strategic background. So we are very complementary.
Okay, and for the fun fact for everyone, how did you meet with your co-founder?
Yeah, we actually met at a hackathon.
Okay.
So she already had the idea of Evermore, also the name, which is pretty cool. And that was the first time actually pushing her idea out there, experimenting, and it went pretty well because we won the hackathon. So, and
Wow.
we connected real well. So after the hackathon, a little bit later, we kept on talking and we were like, okay, let's build that for real.
That's very nice. That's very amazing to hear and a good success story. I hope that you will onboard many more brands and a lot of clients. And for then the end user, the person, so you have your own platform where the end user can resell the product, the clothes. So it's your own platform, right? And the person connects with the wallet, right?
Yeah, so we built everything to make it super accessible for non-Web3 users. So all the blockchain piece is abstracted away. So we have like embedded wallet, we're using account abstraction to make the user experience as easy as possible. Because the initial thought was, if you need to know what a wallet is and how to buy crypto in order to buy a dress, that's going to be very, very complicated.
So there is no crypto involved. You can buy with fiat.
So there is crypto involved, but it's abstracted away. So you buy with fiat, you connect with your email address, you just like, we call it your digital closet. So it's where you see all the clothes that you own. So all the vocabulary is what everyone is used to in the e-commerce or re-commerce. But behind the scene, we handle all the crypto part and blockchain part.
And for the crypto part, do you mean that you work with stable coins?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, for the second hand, yes.
Okay. And which blockchain are you using, by curiosity?
So we're building in multi-chain. So we are already live on Polygon, and we just graduated from a XRPL acceleration program. So we have integrated with XRPL EVM sidechain, which is not live yet. So, but we are ready for whenever it comes live.
And what do you see that will be the biggest challenge in the future for this shift between Web 2 and Web 3? Because I see that now you are already like making sure, like tackling the challenges of user adoption. So you're already talking about account abstraction, wallet abstraction, and making something very swift for everyone to use. But do you see any other, because you spoke about multi-chain, is the interoperability a bit a challenge or not?
Yeah, we want to create a platform which is here for digitals in general. So first we started with the tokenization piece, and then we realized like, okay, now we have like digital items, so both physical and the NFT together. But actually there's nowhere in the space where you have a platform that recognizes digital item and allows you to transact them together by keeping together the physical and the digital. So that's why we ended up creating also the marketplace, because we actually needed it. And so now we see actually a lot of potential in this marketplace. So we're starting to partnering up with other tokenization provider to tell them, so now you can plug your digital items into our marketplace. So your customer can enjoy all the additional functionalities that we're creating, starting with resale, but then we have other functionalities, features coming up.
Okay, that's very interesting. So even like smaller brands that if they want to have, because it's a second hand market, right? Or you can also start with your first product line.
Yeah, we also provide the first sale. Because it was actually a customer ask. So so we built it. But our focus is really going to be on the second hand.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, so already existing first sale on the website of the brands, and then this is the secondary markets. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can also buy firsthand on Evermore currently.
Okay. But the vision is to keep that mindset of sustainability, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's one of your pillars,
Yeah, so it's really about circular commerce. So we're starting with resale, but in the future you could have other features on top, like repair, like renting. Like you can imagine more and more features to, the goal is to make the product lifecycle longer, make sure it doesn't end up in the landfill, to make sure people take care of their product, and it stays in the ecosystem.
That's very nice. And yeah, and then it's peer-to-peer, so you can buy and exchange products. Yeah, that's very interesting. And in terms of like building on the different blockchains, how do you find the relationship with the blockchain developers and communities? How is it going?
So we actually had a very amazing support from XRPL. So
Okay.
I joined a 3 months, they call it residency, it's called the Aquarium program in Paris. That's where I discovered the XRPL ecosystem. And then after that, we got accepted to the accelerator program. And there's another program coming up that we also applied for. So the ecosystem is like super supportive, and they also have brands. Yeah, very good relationship also with Ripple. I had the opportunity to speak at the XRPL annual conference called Apex in June. So it's like, yeah, very supportive ecosystem.
Very nice. It's good to hear, because indeed, when you want to build and you're a startup and you need infrastructure support, it needs also to be very in a positive mindset, and that you can count on them, and that you need to develop your product. So
Yeah.
it's good to hear that there are those opportunities, and then also that they promote your project. So
yeah, but also we also have really great connection with like providers. So we are using, for instance, Alchemy or other Dynamic, etc. So other companies that we're using in the tech stack, we also end up having like great relationship with them. They can give you grants or other technical support. So I mean, so far experience is like really positive.
Cool, perfect. That's very nice. And in that mindset, like, because I feel the very good vibe towards this project going along. What are the midterm and long-term objectives that you have, both of you? Are you going to hire at one point, and you're both based in France?
No, so I'm based in like France, Switzerland, like more or less in Europe. My co-founder, she's from Singapore, but she's based in New York.
Okay.
So we actually started with a US market.
Okay.
And so I guess the short term, so right now we really focus on onboarding more and more brands. We have super exciting events coming up and fashion shows. Actually, we are partnering in fashion shows. Between September and November, we're going to be partnered with like 8 fashion shows all over the world. So super exciting milestones.
Are you going to Italy?
No, it's in the US. So we don't organize the shows. We are partnering up with organizations to add this layer of circularity for the products.
Yes.
But
then for luxury products, then?
It's emerging brands, sustainable brands, not necessarily luxury, but a little bit high end still.
Okay. Okay.
So right now we're super focused on onboarding more brands. We started to have also brands from Europe, including Italy.
Good. I was wondering, like, because you mentioned that you started with the US market, but I was wondering, because of course you have your co-founder also based there, it makes sense. But is it like more difficult in Europe to onboard in Web3 than in the US?
So that's the thing, because we built everything with blockchain abstracted away. So we don't necessarily need people to understand what blockchain is to onboard in Evermore. So if people are curious, obviously we talk about it, how it's made, but it's not a requirement for the clients.
It's interesting to hear, because it's true that many projects are being built in Web3, but talks the Web3 language. And then there is a gap when you want to sell it and onboard brands, companies. So it's interesting that you already wrapped it up in a way that it makes sense also to your clients and brands to onboard and to use it. So it's very interesting. Yeah.
So we see, like, even when we go to conference or within the Web3 ecosystem, we see a lot of projects, as you said, like that are Web3 native, and their clients can only be Web3 people. So we took a completely different approach because our vision is Web3 can be useful for the real world, like outside of the Web3 bubble. And for that, you need to onboard those users, but you cannot expect those users to like go to the learning curve of Web3, which is really steep. So that was the first requirement when we started to talk about the product, is everything needs to be Web2-like.
Indeed, the only thing is that when we get a little bit away from the Web3 native mindset, we get a little bit away from the decentralization mindset. So now you are Evermore and you are an intermediary between the brands and the consumer. And so you also need a business model to be able to live. So are you like now an intermediary, like with a percentage to take a commission on the different sales that are being made on your platform? This is
Yes.
your business model, right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We take commissions.
Okay.
We also sell the tags to the brands. However,
Yes.
this is not where we take a margin. We want the brands to be able to onboard as easily as possible. So yeah, we take.
And if we compare to a regular marketplace Web2, what would be the added value of having a Web3 marketplace?
So you have, first of all, you have like all the authentication of the clothes and all the history of the clothes. So it makes the marketplace more transparent, because you know like how many times this clothes have been resold, for how long it has been sold. Like all this information in the future, you will know if it has been repaired, etc. So all those information are transparent and verified on chain and available on the platform. And yeah, then you have all this, you have this relationship also with the brand, because from a brand perspective, like if someone resell, like let's say on Vinted or like equivalent, then the brand has no idea where their products are going. They're not associated with this product at all. And they also cannot engage with their customer. They don't know who they are, because this information is locked into a Vinted database. So now we're also creating a lot of engagement between the brand and the customer. So you as a customer, even though you're a second-hand customer, you still have this privilege of like this connection with the brand. Yeah, and access to potential.
That you take over from the precedent owner, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You get, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very nice. And also, I mean, the peer-to-peer transaction is also an added value from the Web3 to Web3, from the Web2 to Web3 marketplace.
So it's like, it's a combination, because you have the authentication, but still it's peer-to-peer. So you don't need other second-hand marketplace. They just take the product back, they authenticate it, and then ship it. So the costs are way higher, even for the end customer, because they have to pay for all of this.
Indeed. No, very interesting. I have many other questions, but the podcast is coming to an end. So I'm very amazed by what you're building, and I will follow you for all the shows that fashion shows that you will go on and work with with Evermore. So it's such an amazing idea, and really also aligned with the current societal challenges. So it's very good, and I'm very happy that you're both working on that, and I will be looking after your project and after you still after years and years, you know. So thank you very much, Floriane, for explaining this to the community and your project. I'm very happy that we could host you today, and I wish you all the best with this venture and the project. And I hope to see you again on different events.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. And I'm also looking forward to see Furt'Her growing as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Floriane. Have a good day, everyone, and talk to you to the next podcast.